Let me show you one of the simplest automations I use in my business. It's extremely simple, but also it saves me hours of work every month. You see, every time I get a receipt in my Gmail, it automatically gets extracted, saved, and uploaded into a shared Google Drive folder to my accountant, without me touching anything. No more searching, no more forwarding emails, no more missed receipts. If you're anything like me, your inbox is probably full of receipts from subscriptions, from SaaS tools, and your accountant keeps asking for them. Manually downloading them one by one is boring, takes time, and honestly not something any business should spend time on. So today I'm going to show you a tiny Make.com automation that handles all of that for you. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. So now we're looking into my Gmail inbox, and you can see that I have a lot of emails. I think actually I do have more than 2,500 emails that are unread. Never mind that. Here you can see that I have a receipt from Airtop. That is a software as a service, a SaaS, that I have a subscription with. So let me look into this here, and I can see that I paid $29 for this service. And also I can see that the receipts are in here as attachment. So pretty neat. I could actually just forward this email to my accountant. But then the next time I get a receipt, he will ask, where's the receipt? Where is the receipt? And where is the next receipt? So, and as you can see, this receipt is actually generated from Stripe. Stripe is a card payment platform, and many businesses use them. So every time you get a receipt, it actually comes from Stripe. So let me show you what we're going to do. This is my Gmail. So first I will create a filter to find all my receipts. And then I will create a forwarding rule inside Gmail. And the receipt will be forwarded to a scenario in Make.com. And the scenario will take a look at the email and extract the attachment and save it to Google Drive. And this Google Drive is shared with my accountant. So let's make this happen. First, we start with the filter in Gmail. So we see I'm looking at the receipt. What I can do now is to click this button and filter messages like this. Then I see that I get the from address, but since I will probably, obviously this from address is specific for this receipt. So if I remove that and just keep the Stripe domain, and obviously I need the email to have an attachment as well. And also the words receipt, right? That will probably guarantee to find all my receipts from Stripe. So I can start by just searching and see, wow, here are all my receipts from Stripe, from Airtop, from Lovable, from Suno, and yeah, a lot of different things. Now I click in the show search options again. And from this search, I now create a filter. And I will start by labeling it with a new label called Stripe. So now I create that filter. Now I need to use this filter to forward all the emails to a scenario in Make.com. So first we need to create the email hook in the scenario in Make to be able to forward all the emails to that specific address. So let's head over to Make, and here I will create a new scenario and I will name it Stripe Receipts to Accountant. So I will add the first module, and this will be webhook. And the trigger is not a normal webhook, but a custom mail hook. So what this does is actually create a specific email address that I can forward emails to. So I will add a new email hook, and I will say Stripe receipt. Why isn't this work? I don't think this can have any base characters in it. It's probably true. So now we see that I have this really long and cryptic email address. So I copy that address to the clipboard and I go over to my Gmail account again. And now I click on the settings tab and see all settings. And I go to forwarding and I will add a forwarding address. So this is my forwarding address. Before I do click next here, I will head over to Make.com again. And then I will, let me get myself out of the way, save here. and run this module only. Now I'm waiting for a new email on this custom mail hook. So when I add the forwarding email address now in Google, in Gmail, they will send an email to me just to verify that I am actually the receiver of this email address. So I click next. So now I have to verify that it's you. I can do that on my iPhone here. Yeah, this is me. Forwarding mail to. Let's proceed. A confirmation link has been sent to this email address to verify permission. So if I head over to Make now, I can see, wow, I got this email now. What about the text in here? digitalbysweden@gmail.com has requested to automatically forward email to your address. To allow Digital by Sweden to automatically forward email to you, you have to click the link below. So here's the link. So let me just take that link, copy it, and paste it here. So now I get this confirmation from Gmail. Please confirm forwarding mail of digitalbysweden@gmail.com to this make.com email address. I confirm. Great, so now I can do that. So now let's head over to Gmail again and update the picture here. Just update the site. So now I see that forwarding is enabled. So let me head over to my filter here. And I can see that I have my Stripe filter, and let's edit that. And now, besides labeling it as Stripe, I also want to forward it to this address. So now I will update the filter. You need to verify this you again. I guess I could do that. So let's check out the settings now in my Gmail. So click the settings and see all settings. So in forwarding, I see that I do have this email address here to choose from. However, it says disable forwarding, but that's because I don't want every email to be forwarded to make.com. So in filters here, I see that I do have this filter, and it searches for Stripe and forwards to this email address. So this seems to be totally correct. So how do I test this thing now? Well, I have this new receipt from Lovable actually. So let me head over to Make and check out the email address that I got here. So I'll copy that address, save, run this module once. So now it's waiting for an email. Head over to my Gmail again, select this email with the Stripe receipt and just forward it to my make.com email hook. Send that. And let's head over here. An email does not travel with the speed of light, but after a few seconds, it will probably appear. So there we go. We have the date, which is actually today's date, and we have text. It says it is from Lovable Labs Incorporated. And most importantly, we have attachments. And we actually see that we do have two attachments that comes in an array. So attachment 1 is the invoice PDF. And attachment 2 is the receipt. So we do have two attachments that comes with this email. So what we want to do now is to upload these attachments to my Google Drive. So let's add a Google Drive module here. Google Drive, and upload a file and connect that to this webhook. I will use my connection, and the folder will be from the list below. I have, of course, economy, and hopefully you are as good as I am on this to keep good track of your folders. So I have 2025 and receipts. So now I want to use the file name. Well, the file name is from the attachment here. I can see that I do have a file name here. So I will start by using that. And the data is the data here. I can also use, so this will be mapped. And I save this and I save that, and then I can just run the previous run that I run once. And now I see that I get one file uploaded to Google Drive. So let me head over to my Google Drive. Now I see that I do have my invoice in here in my Google Drive. So this is actually the invoice. So why am I only getting one file uploaded. I wanted the receipt as well. Maybe that's more important even. So let me delete that file again and head over to make. And when you look at this, you see that the attachments, they come in an array. You can see that over here. So we need to iterate on that array to get both files. So what we do is add an iterator in between, like this. And the iterator what should it iterate? Well, it should iterate the attachments since there are many of them. And the Google Drive will now, we won't fetch data from the web, from the mail hook, but instead we will get it from the iterator. So we do get the file name, and then the data is from the iterator's data over here. Save that, save this, and run this scenario once more. So now you see we get one file, but then we also get the second file. Wow, this is getting better and better. So now we see in my Google Drive, I do have both the invoice and the receipt. So this is a good thing for the accountant because my accountant is so picky about this. Probably what I would hear from him is, what is this receipt? What is it all about? Do I really have to open this to see that it is from Lovable? That I don't have time for that. So we need to rename these files to received from Lovable and specifically with the date as well to keep track. So how do we do that? Well, let's do that now. So delete these, head over, and I think we're going to use some AI to get this going. So in between here, I will add a module for OpenAI and to use ChatGPT to generate the response for this one. And let's make this why am I seeing this so large? Let's go for 100%. And auto align. So let's get in here and say, build some instructions to ChatGPT. So I have my connection to OpenAI. And the model, I mean, I don't need to use the most advanced model for this because it's a really simple task. So I will use the cheapest model. So I would go for GPT-5 Nano, which is actually the cheapest model. So what do we do here? We have the text that says, in the text we see who the receipt is from. So we want who is sending this receipt, who is it from, and what is it, the date. Now, who is it from? And we also want to know the amount and the currency. So let me instruct the GPT like this. You are analyzing an email content from a Stripe receipt. Your mission is to detect who is this email from and what amount am I paying for it, and also extract the currency of that amount and use the output in JSON format. And this is your data. Great. So now we send him the text. This is your data. And we also want to go to the advanced settings and secure that we do get this output format in a JSON, and not in a schema, but in an object, like so. So let me just rerun this. I'm just unlink this as for the moment and run the latest email again. See what it says. Neat thinking. Now we got reply. So what is the result here? The result is from Lovable. Sender email, the amount is $25 US dollars. This is awesome. So now we can actually use these parameters in naming the file. Isn't that great? So how do we do that? Well, when we upload the file, we will choose the file name for, I have to connect these babies again to get this going. Why am I so big here? Let me just make myself a bit smaller. So the file name would be, well, I think I have to run this one once more to actually get this going. So I will actually delete no, there it is now. I will map this from OpenAI. So the file name from OpenAI is, well, actually I want to pick the date. So let me start by the date in the file format. So this is the date from the email is this. So let me select, I want to format the date. So let me go for date. I want to format the date. And what date do I want to format? I want to format the date from here when the email arrived. And I want it in the format of year, month, day, which should be good enough for my picky accountant. Then a space and the actual from. So this is the supplier of the service. And then we also need the first part of, we can actually use this receipt. So this will include everything. So we do the same thing with the data. Sorry, not with the data, but with the data, we just go for the data in here. So what happens when we run this baby now? Let's do this. ChatGPT will detect the name of the provider, and the iterator will do its work. So it will create 2 files. And in my Gmail drive now, what do I have? I have the date, I have Lovable Labs Incorporated, and I have invoice and receipt. So I'm pretty sure that my accountant will be very happy with this. So when I open the receipt, there I have the receipt, and the invoice is there as well. So this is perfect. So then I just share this folder to my accountant, and whenever he wants receipts or anything from my Stripe accounts that I am paying for, he will find it in here. It can't be better than that. And if you want this scenario, you can just head over to my school community and you can get it for free. So I will simply export this as a blueprint and Stripe receipt to accountant. And I will simply save it to my documents here. And of course, this is just an example of what you can do with make.com. There are like a gazillion other things that you can do. And if you want to learn more about these things, feel free to join my school community. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.